My beloved child, you are drawing near to an extraordinary encounter with someone who attracts the attention of many. Yet amid all that admiration, their heart will recognize the genuine presence within you. I want you to understand that the value of this meeting does not lie in this person's reputation, outward appearance, or the influence they possess before the world, but in the profound harmony that has been formed through the years in which both of you have quietly matured. This person may be accustomed to receiving attention, praise, and the desire of many people to enter their life. But the admiration of the crowd has never reached the deepest place within them. Compliments may make a moment appear radiant, but they cannot satisfy the longing to be understood, to be accepted without having to perform, and to be loved for the person hidden behind every public image. Therefore, even while surrounded by many people, they continue to carry the feeling that they are waiting for something they cannot yet name. What they are waiting for is not a perfect person, but someone who can see beyond the brilliance and recognize the unspoken burdens they still conceal. It is the sincerity, peace, and depth that have been cultivated within you that will cause them to pause. This meeting is not coming to make you the victor in a competition for affection, because genuine love is not a reward granted to the person who succeeds in defeating everyone else. I do not want you to see those who admire this person as your rivals, nor do I want you to feel that you must prove yourself more worthy than anyone else. What truly belongs to you will recognize you naturally. You will not need to push your way forward, decorate yourself, or surrender your dignity in order to be chosen. While many people are captivated by what can easily be seen, you will notice this person's silences, weariness, and desire to live truthfully. In return, they will recognize within you what their former shallow connections were unable to see. A heart that knows how to love with steadfastness. Listen without judgment, and remain present through ordinary days rather than appearing only when everything is bright. Recognition between two people does not always require many words. It may begin as an unusual sense of peace, as though neither person must continue trying to become someone else in order to be accepted. I know there were seasons when you felt as though you did not fit into the world around you. You watched others enter relationships easily, while you had to quietly walk away whenever you realized that a connection lacked depth. Some people may have said that you expected too much, were overly sensitive, or found it too difficult to open your heart. But only you understood the emptiness of standing beside someone and still feeling unseen. You could not remain forever in a place where beautiful words were not followed by action, where affection appeared only when it was convenient, or where you had to make yourself smaller to keep another person from feeling insecure. Leaving those circumstances was not evidence of failure. It was the moment when discernment protected you from becoming attached to something incapable of walking with you into your future. The doors that closed once caused you pain, but they also prevented you from giving your most precious qualities to people who wanted to enjoy your warmth without accepting the responsibility of protecting it. During that same period, the person you are about to meet was also passing through lessons of their own. The attention they received did not mean that they had never experienced loneliness. On the contrary, the more people saw them from the outside, the more difficult it became for them to know who truly valued the person within. They may have met people who loved their position, their image, or what they could provide, but very few possessed the patience to understand their fears, their vulnerable days, and the dreams they kept private. Because of this, they became cautious. They no longer open the door merely because someone speaks sweet words. Nor are they easily persuaded by temporary attraction. Former experiences taught them that being pursued is not the same as being loved. Being praised is not the same as being understood. And having many choices does not mean that one has found the right person. This awakening is preparing them to recognize you. Not because you will impress them more than everyone else, but because in your presence they may experience something rare, the safety to be themselves. However, do not turn this message into a reason to imagine that every new person who appears is the one appointed for you. I want you to keep your heart open, but your eyes must remain awake. A deep connection is not confirmed only through an intense feeling during the first moment. It is also proven through consistency over time. The person truly meant for your journey will not merely tell you that you are special, they will treat you with respect. They will not leave you continually wondering where you stand, nor will they use their prominence to make you feel inferior. They will understand that love is not a privilege enjoyed by one person, but a responsibility carried by both. Therefore, when the meeting comes, you do not need to surrender your complete trust merely because this person is desired by many. Their value in the eyes of the world does not make your value smaller. You are not merely a fortunate person who happened to be selected from a crowd. You enter this connection as an equal, with a voice, with boundaries, and with sacred things that must be honored. The years when you felt delayed were actually teaching you to distinguish attraction from compatibility. Attraction may make the heart respond very quickly, but compatibility enables two people to build calmly after the first intensity has faded. You have been trained not only to ask how this person makes you feel, but also to observe who you become in their presence. Are you encouraged to live more honestly when you are near them? Do you feel peaceful enough to express your thoughts? Or must you continually remain cautious because you fear abandonment? Can both of you work through differences with respect? Or must one person always remain silent in order to preserve calm? These questions do not take away the beauty of love. They give love a foundation. I am not leading you into a relationship merely so that others can admire you. I want you to enter a companionship capable of nourishing kindness, maturity, and good purpose within both of you. When the two of you meet, the deepest experience may not be overwhelming excitement, but a peaceful familiarity. This person will recognize that you are not captivated by the outer image the entire world sees. You may admire their good qualities, yet still possess enough honesty to correct them when they are wrong. Enough stability not to be swept away by the attention surrounding them, and enough gentleness to support them without attempting to control them. You, in turn, will sense that you have finally encountered someone who does not require you to become less profound, less perceptive, or less sincere in order to be easier to love. They will not interpret your boundaries as rejection, but will understand that they are evidence of self-respect. They will not use your wounds to gain power over you, but will patiently help create a space in which trust can grow day by day. Within these ordinary things, you will recognize the difference between someone who merely makes your heart race and someone who has the ability to walk a long road beside you. Even so, remember that no one is sent to replace your relationship with me or to fill every empty place within you. This person may accompany you, share with you, and help you discover new beauty within yourself. But they are not the only source of your joy or worth. If you place all your happiness in the hands of another person, you will live in constant fear of losing them. But when you know who you are, you can love without clinging, open your heart without losing discernment, and remain connected while preserving a healthy life of your own. I am preparing you for a love that will not turn you into another person's shadow, no matter how greatly the world may praise this person. You must remember that you were not created to live beneath their radiance. Two people do not come together so that one may shine while the other disappears, but so that each may support the good light within the other. Therefore, stop viewing your former loneliness as evidence that you were forgotten. Separation was often the boundary that protected you from connections that could have drained your strength, obscured your inner voice, and slowed your progress along your path. What you once called emptiness became the place where you learned to stand without continual approval. What you once called delay helped you become mature enough not to be overwhelmed by someone prominent. When this person appears, you will not merely see their attractiveness, you will possess enough discernment to observe their character, how they treat those who are vulnerable, whether they keep their word, and how they respond when circumstances do not unfold according to their desires. These are the things that reveal a person's true nature, not the number of admirers pursuing them or the praise surrounding them. My beloved child, the encounter approaching you is not coming to prove to the world that you succeeded in obtaining someone everyone else desires. It is being permitted so that you may discover how profound love can become when two people have learned to live truthfully before finding one another. This person may receive the attention of the world, but what draws them toward you will be the peace, depth, and sincerity that no amount of fame can purchase. Allow the meeting to develop naturally. Do not force it to carry a title before the two of you truly understand one another. And do not lose the present because you are rushing to imagine the future. Something good is not afraid of careful observation, does not need games to maintain interest, and does not require you to betray yourself in order to be kept. When the right person arrives, you will still need wisdom, patience, and honest conversations. I will not guide you through prolonged confusion, but through clarity that gradually becomes greater. Continue forward with an open heart and your dignity intact, because the love worthy of you will not merely choose you from among many people, it will know how to value, protect, and cultivate what has been entrusted to both of you. You have been chosen not only to receive protection and provision, but also to enter a connection that carries profound meaning for the journey ahead. I do not allow love to appear upon your path as an aimless coincidence, nor do I permit someone to touch your heart merely to create a few days of emotion and then disappear. When I guide someone near you, I have already seen what you cannot yet see. I know the places within both of you that need healing, the qualities through which you can support one another, and the seasons of growth you may be able to walk through together. Therefore, do not quickly dismiss what is taking shape simply because it does not yet have a clear name. Some beginnings do not arrive with loud sounds. They appear through quiet peace, a difficult-to-explain sense of familiarity, and trust built from very small things. What is truly precious often does not reveal all its beauty in the first moment, because I want you to recognize it through depth rather than temporary excitement. I know fear often attempts to speak whenever you begin to hope. It reminds you of the times when you entrusted your heart to someone and later had to gather its broken pieces alone. It recalls promises that sounded beautiful but were never upheld through action. It causes you to imagine events that have not occurred, become anxious about the opinions of others, and question even peaceful moments simply because you have grown accustomed to instability. But my beloved, do not allow old memories to become the judge of a new story. Not every door leads into the same room, and not every person who approaches you carries the intentions of those who left. Caution can help you observe clearly, but fear will make you close the door before you have the opportunity to recognize who is standing outside. I am not asking you to ignore necessary warning signs, nor am I telling you to trust blindly. I only want you to stop using former wounds as the sole standard by which you measure what is now present before you. This connection feels different because it does not merely awaken emotion, it also touches a deep stillness within you. There were times when you tried to push it away, telling yourself that you were thinking too much or that everything would naturally fade. Yet, after busy days and every attempt to focus upon something else, that awareness quietly returned. It does not force you to act impulsively or deprive you of your ability to reason, but remains like a small lamp shining persistently in the deepest place within you. This is because the connection is not being revealed to make you lose control, but to teach you how to recognize a healthy bond. I am allowing each layer to open slowly, so that trust will not be built upon beautiful words, but upon consistency, respect, patience, and the way both of you preserve peace for one another over time. You also need to know that you are not behind anyone else in life. The people around you may have entered marriage, built families, or found companionship before you, but their journeys are not clocks by which your worth should be measured. I do not write your life according to another person's timetable. The years you spent waiting were not meaningless emptiness, but a period in which you were taught how to love without losing yourself, receive without suspecting every good thing, and recognize who is truly mature enough to walk beside you. Age does not diminish the value of the gift I am preparing, and the seasons that have passed do not make what belongs to you less fresh. Some things can only be entrusted to you when you are strong enough not to turn love into a shelter for your inner lack, but to see it as companionship between two people who have learned to stand securely on their own feet. This person sees within you many things you once believed no one noticed. They recognize your strength, not in the moments when you appear fearless, but in the way you preserve gentleness after exhausting days. They notice the kindness you show others, even when no one thanks you. The way you listen, without rushing to judge, and the peace carried by your presence. You may not realize how deeply you affected them because you never attempted to impress them. That very sincerity causes them to remember you after every surrounding noise becomes quiet. They do not merely notice what you display outwardly, but sense a place of safety in the way you live, a warmth that makes no demands, and a depth that causes them to desire greater honesty with themselves. Their heart is moved, not because you attempted to capture their attention, but because you are living as the person I shaped through many seasons of trial. Even so, I am not leading you into an uncertain place where you must continually guess your position. I am teaching you to recognize what is happening, but that recognition must be confirmed through truth over time. Observe how this person treats you during ordinary days, not only in emotionally powerful moments. Notice whether they respect your boundaries, keep their word in small things, possess the courage to communicate clearly, and remain present when circumstances are no longer convenient. A purposeful connection does not need manipulation in order to continue, does not use silence as punishment, and does not force you to continually prove your worth. What comes from maturity creates space for both people to speak honestly, correct mistakes, and grow. It may not be perfect from the beginning, but it will possess a clear direction in which each step forward is built upon respect rather than control. Therefore, open your heart without abandoning your position. Openness does not mean giving someone complete trust before they have demonstrated honesty. And holding to your principles does not mean constructing walls no one can cross. I am teaching you to recognize the boundary between discernment and fear. Discernment helps you slow down and observe, while fear tells you to run, even when nothing truly dangerous has occurred. Discernment asks questions in order to discover truth, while fear writes painful endings and convinces you they are certain to happen. Discernment preserves peace, even when every answer has not yet been given, while fear pressures you to control everything in order to feel secure. Whenever you become confused, return to stillness. Do not allow the emotion of a single moment to replace consistent observation over time. What is genuine will not fear the light, resist clarity, or require you to abandon wisdom in order to remain. Allow what I have begun to grow according to its natural rhythm. You do not need to run ahead and force the future to answer. Nor must you remain frozen in anxiety because you fear missing something. What belongs to you does not need to be protected through panic. You only need to continue living honestly, caring for your heart, and allowing this person to demonstrate affection through lasting presence. If this connection possesses a good foundation, it will not only make you feel loved, it will also help you become more peaceful, mature, and free. It will not pull you away from the right path, but encourage you to live fully according to the beautiful qualities placed within you. One day, when you look back, you will understand why everything did not come sooner, why former doors had to close, and why I taught you patience through every season. What I am beginning to reveal does not need noise in order to be real. It needs only two hearts honest enough, strong enough, and patient enough to recognize that profound love does not come merely to fill emptiness, but to build together a place of peace that both people can call companionship. Do not give fear authority over your mind as that important hour draws near, because you have been prepared far more carefully than your present feelings allow you to recognize. Fear may enter your most vulnerable places and tell you that you are not ready, that the coming pressure will exceed your ability to endure, or that once everything is brought into the light, others will no longer look upon you with love. But, my beloved, words that cause you to shrink, panic, and run from the truth are not my voice. I do not lead you through threats, nor do I use confusion to force you forward. I lead you through light, peace, and a quiet strength that is growing within you every day. You may not yet see the full measure of the resilience I have placed within you, but it has always been there. It lifted you after the times when you believed you could not continue, helped you preserve kindness after being wounded, and enabled you to keep hoping despite repeated disappointment. Therefore, do not judge your ability only by temporary emotions. Look back upon the road you have already crossed and recognize that you were never as weak as fear attempted to convince you. When that moment comes, You will not have to stand alone in the presence of truth. I will be there, nearer than your own breath, covering you with a presence no accusation can penetrate. There are things from your past that you concealed because you feared being misunderstood. Memories you locked away because you did not want anyone to touch them. And places within you covered by shame so deeply that you believed others would turn away if they ever saw them. But I want you to understand that being completely seen does not mean being rejected. When unspoken things begin to appear, it will not be the moment when your worth is taken away. It will be the moment when you learn that your worth never depended upon your ability to hide. You are precious not because you always appear strong, have never made mistakes, or know how to keep everything under control. You are precious because you were created with purpose, loved, even in the places that remain unfinished, and are still being patiently shaped by me into someone freer, more truthful, and more mature. Therefore, the encounter moving toward you will not merely illuminate a story that has remained hidden. It will mark a turning point in the way you see yourself. What is revealed will begin to loosen the knots that have quietly controlled you for a long time. Perhaps it is the shame that continually caused you to diminish yourself, the fear that always made you choose silence, or an old memory that caused you to respond to the present through the wounds of the past. When truth appears, you will gradually realize that many of the chains that once held you existed only because they were never brought into the light. I am not exposing you in order to humiliate you. I am shining light so that what once controlled you will no longer possess authority. I am not leading you into honesty in order to destroy you. I am bringing you there to restore your voice, your stability, and your ability to move forward without carrying burdens that never belonged to you. Even so, freedom often begins with an unfamiliar feeling. When someone has lived cautiously for a long time, peace may initially confuse them. When they have grown accustomed to protecting themselves through silence, speaking may cause their heart to tremble. Therefore, do not quickly assume that the first discomfort means you are moving in the wrong direction. Some doors open only after you possess enough courage to remain and face what you once avoided. Growth may create pressure before it brings relief, like an old shell that must break so something new can form. I am not telling you to enter every situation without wisdom, but neither do I want you to run merely because your emotions are becoming intense. Running may provide temporary relief, but it will extend your captivity. Remaining steadfast with a peaceful heart will help you recognize that what once terrified you is no longer greater than the strength you now carry. I know the deepest places within you that still tremble. I know the questions you have not dared to speak and the negative scenes your mind creates whenever night comes. But I have never required you to become perfect before entering what has been prepared. What I seek from you is not a flawless appearance, but sincere trust. While many things remain beyond your understanding, you were called into this moment, not through a careless accident. I saw your capacity before you recognized it. I knew what you would be able to carry before the challenge appeared. And I quietly equipped you through every experience that seemed unrelated. The times when you learned to say no, the moments when you had to rise by yourself, the seasons when you waited patiently in silence, and the days when you chose truth instead of comfort are all becoming preparation for the present. Perhaps even as you read these words, something inside you is beginning to settle. That peace is not coming because every outward circumstance has completely changed, but because you are beginning to remember that you are not the only one responsible for controlling the outcome. I have already gone before you, into every conversation, seen the possible reactions, and understood everything you cannot yet predict. I am not surprised by any truth that is about to appear, nor am I disturbed by the things that have kept you awake. What you call unfamiliar territory has been within my sight for a long time. I know where you will need to pause, which words you must speak, what you should leave unsaid, and which doors no longer need to be opened again. Therefore, instead of attempting to resolve every possible scenario in your mind, learn to remain present today. The strength you need will be given at the right moment. It is not always given in advance for you to store while continuing to worry. Feeling an unusual weight does not mean disaster is approaching. Sometimes your sensitive heart recognizes the changing of a season before your mind can name what is shifting. You notice small things becoming different, sense that certain relationships are moving, or feel an inner prompting to prepare without fully understanding the reason. Do not immediately interpret those feelings as a trap. What was once deeply buried is being brought forward for healing. What was unclear is gradually taking form, and questions you have carried for many years may be approaching their answers. However, I want you to remain discerning. Not every emotion is guidance, and not every coincidence carries a message. Discern through peace, through good values, and through the fruit produced by each decision. What is right will not lead you further into panic, manipulation, or confusion. While the outward landscape still appears unchanged, many elements are already being placed in their proper positions. Certain people are being prepared to speak what must be spoken. Conversations are taking shape through decisions you know nothing about. And doors are beginning to move, even though they still appear closed before you. Your responsibility is not to run in search of this encounter. Investigate everyone, or force events to happen according to your own desires. What belongs to the appointed time does not need your pressure in order to appear. The more you attempt to control, the more likely you are to enter doors that were never meant for you. But when your heart remains quiet, you will possess enough clarity to recognize what is genuinely approaching. I am handling the parts beyond your reach, arranging the things you cannot touch, and guiding people whom you do not have the power to change. When the encounter finally appears, you will recognize it, not merely through strong emotion, but through quiet clarity. You will not need to force yourself to believe, nor gather countless signs in order to prove that it possesses meaning. What is genuine will carry consistency, make room for honest conversation, and help what was once confusing gradually become understandable. You may still tremble, but you will no longer desire to run. Certain truths may move you deeply, yet beneath everything, you will feel that you are being led out of a narrow room into a wider place. Walk slowly, speak sincerely, and do not abandon healthy boundaries merely because you want everything to end well. I am not calling you into this moment so that you will lose yourself, but so that you may recover the courage that fear once concealed.